Okay, welcome back to the road to Avengers Endgame. Speaking of that, actually, today I booked our tickets to see the film on its midnight premiere in a few weeks. I'm now wondering whether we'll be able to finish doing this road to revisiting before the actual film comes out, but regardless, the tickets went on sale today. All the cinema websites were crashing, and I just, by luck, happened to be on Twitter when I saw that it was trending. So I tried to get in and book the tickets. Took about half an hour of just reloading, thinking I'd bought it, wasn't too sure, thought I might have been charged. Got 3 tickets. Unfortunately, one of my best friends who I went to see Infinity War with on the midnight premiere can't make it, so that's annoying. Hopefully we'll find someone to take that ticket. Maybe Tommy, actually. Anyway, so
I don't think he'd be able to stay awake.
it's also a double. Oh, he would, trust me. It's a double bill with Infinity War, which leads right into it. So that's really cool. It's gonna be a very long night at the cinema, though. That's a full.
She might actually let us, because that would mean she could just give Millie off to Sean and then.
But it's in the middle of the. It's a Wednesday. It's like a school night. So
no, that wouldn't work.
Probably not.
It
No.
wouldn't finish until 3. It's a 3-hour movie.
3-hour movie. Anyway, so we're going to do now Thor: The Dark World. Which is one of my favourites. I remember coming out of this, we went to see this in Norway, and I just thought, that was awesome. I loved it. There's a point in the film where I just thought, this is like a new Star Wars. And this was kind of before all the new Star Wars movies started coming out. But I don't know, just the characters I loved, the kind of the science fiction. It took everything I loved about the first Thor in like Asgard and amplified it. You know, it's a lot more of that stuff than, you know, the fish out of water on Earth storyline. So, and I really grew to love Thor in Avengers as well. That really grew his character for me as a really entertaining character, so I just loved seeing more of him, and I hope that I continue to enjoy this one. I do remember we watched this with my mum, and the villain, who is really just bland in this film, to be fair, unfortunately, he speaks an alien language. He's like, Hollanda Fanta. And I remember like saying he wants a Fanta.
I can't remember who he is.
Malekith, I believe, is his character's name, because I recently uploaded a clip for it for the channel that I upload clips to for my job.
Oh yeah, Ragnarok, right.
Ragnarok is the third, yeah.
What was the third movie?
So Thor: The Dark World is the second one, played by Christopher Eccleston, one of the Doctor Who's. Anyway, on with Thor: The Dark World and our thoughts afterwards, I'm sure. Ta-ta and farewell for half a second. Okay, so we're done with Thor: The Dark World. Many weeks ago. So yeah, we've since moved. I think I've already talked about that. I think I have. So yeah, just it's a big mess. We're just here to talk about Thor: The Dark World. I remember seeing this and coming out and thinking that is one of my favourite Marvel films. And I can't remember what your feeling was the first time we saw it, but you did mention that you didn't like it very much.
Yeah, I think I didn't like it that much the first time, but seeing it again, I don't really understand why.
Yeah, so I've always loved it, and it seems to be an unpopular opinion. Most people are like, yeah, it's one of the worst ones, really didn't like it. The only thing that doesn't work for me always is the villain, Malekith, the Dark Elf. Just very stock. Bland. I think I mentioned that before, I don't know, but yeah, we have Christopher Eccleston, you know, he's a great actor, but he couldn't really bring much to this role. It's a very cut out, cardboard, cookie cutter, you know, villain who's I want to take over, blah, you know, or, you know, there's a backstory to it, and I actually did find myself, when we watched this again, every time it cuts back to the elves, I'm just like, don't care. You know, it's just like, let's get back to Thor and all that stuff. You need to have a villain and everything, but I just wasn't interested. Not in a bad way where I was like, oh, this sucks, but just like, yeah, this stuff doesn't really interest me. It doesn't engage me. You know, when you have a good villain and you cut back to the villain, then it's like, oh yeah, this is it. This is entertaining, or this is interesting. Or
I guess they are forgettable, because
just
until I watch the movie again, I'll be like, all right, they are the bad guys in this
movie. But I think it's a great film. I think it takes everything I loved about the first one, which is like Asgard and all of that kind of galactic, interstellar stuff, and that the visuals of Asgard, and expands it to a fuller movie. It mainly takes place in, you know, in that kind of realm. We do have stuff on Earth, and with Jane and the Swedish guy,
Still
And
on Scar Squad.
yeah, he's funny in the film. You know, he's kind of like gone off the rails a bit since having. Since at one point he says like, you know, I've had a god playing around inside my brain, so it's like, yeah, you kind of understand why he's gone off the rails a little bit. Yeah, he's got a good excuse. So that lends a lot of comedic value to the film. His interactions with people. Chris Hemsworth is as great as Thor as ever, I think, and I just love the character, and I love the it feels like a natural extension of the first movie. As much as I love Thor Ragnarok, it feels like a different film to the first two Thor movies. But I think the first and second Thor films, they feel very much like of the same ilk. Just the story expanded and continued. And this is one of the, maybe, I'm not sure when the first real mention of an Infinity Stone is, but the ether that is introduced in this is very much, you know, put forth as this kind of, again, Infinity Stone, or this item that is like one of the big elements that was formed at the beginning of time and all that kind of stuff.
Is the Guardians of the Galaxy the first time we actually learn about the Infinity Stones?
Yeah, I'm not sure if Guardians is when we first get the kind of exposition about the stones.
At least to know like how powerful they are, but
Yeah.
they do mention in Thor like how much power that specific
I'm not.
thing
Yeah, I
has.
can't remember if they do mention infinity or not. But
And it used to be like an Infinity Stone or something.
used to be, right? Yeah.
They said something like that, but it's not a stone anymore. It's just like stuff.
Yeah, it's fluid and it's kind of just liquid
So
almost.
it's not, I guess, one of the five. It's
Six.
5, 6.
Yeah. Yeah, we deal with Thor not going back to see Jane and their romance. I wish they kind of continued that, but I'm fine with them not at the same time. She's pissed off that he didn't come back when he said he would, and then she sees him off in New York in the Avengers, and she's annoyed about that. But yeah, I like that relationship, and I like that character. I know a lot of people don't, but I enjoy it. And the thing I love the most is the fight scene at the end, when they're just literally like, it's about the convergence of all the realms, the 9 realms. It goes into that a lot more, which I love, is that fantasy element of the 9 realms and how they all align at a certain point and it all becomes unstable. And so Thor is fighting Malekith, who, again, not a very interesting villain, but they're fighting and they're flying through different, not dimensions, but different realms and worlds, and seeing them fall down this like dark apocalyptic planet with like cars kind of following after them from London was really fun. Yeah, I feel like there should be more I should say about it. When they like flee Asgard with Loki with his help, and they're flying on this little ship across a bridge, I remember thinking in the cinema, this is like a Star Wars film. Like, there was just something so enjoyable about the high fantasy science fiction blend that I just loved. And Loki is a big part of this film as well, which I also enjoyed. And his conflict, you know, where you kind of wonder, is he going to turn on Thor? And then it looks like he does, but they planned it, which was really cool. But then, of course, he kind of turns on him again for real by the end, when he kind of takes the place of their father, which is an interest. I remember when I watched that, I was like, I wonder if they'll ever go back to that, because it seemed like, and it's funny because they make it out to be this big deal, where he's kind of pretending to be Odin in the throne room at the end of, and it's treated as this really serious moment and betrayal, and then in Thor Ragnarok, it's just a joke. They just throw it away as this gag where Loki is pretending to be Odin.
You know, send him to old people's
Old people's home, yeah. So it's kind of, I don't know if I prefer it if they treated it more seriously, or if it's better that they made light of it. But yeah, any thoughts on Thor: The Dark World?
Like I said, I enjoyed it a lot more watching it again now.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've seen it. The neighbors here are actually a little bit louder than the other neighbors that we had.
Just go through. Just keep going.
I like how Loki kind of turns in a way in this one, which I just said in the Avengers review. I got a little distracted. How his love for his mom. I love the reveal of his room. When it's like an illusion, like he's okay, and then Thor's like, cut the illusion or whatever, and then you see that he's completely broken apart, and that makes me like, oh, so he has a heart, you know? Like he actually cares about something. And that really like that. I actually don't mind Jane in this movie. In the first one, it's like, she's a character, you know? But in this one, I actually quite like her. And part of me kind of wishes that she went like, ballistic with that power and stuff, and she started like, "Krah," that they used that power to something more, but they quickly laid that part to rest, didn't they?
Sure, yeah.
Well, not quickly, but still. I guess it's got some funny parts in it. I feel like the Thor movies are like, they were kind of like building up the funny parts, like the phone suddenly having reception in a different world. Like, how's that possible? When she finds the keys, it's like, yeah, that is convenient. You know how it ended up being in that cave.
Yeah.
And how they managed to have a tool that actually can control those little wormholes all over the city.
Yeah,
like that's very convenient.
Well, you know, they're scientists. You just kind of go along with it, I suppose.
Yeah,
and it's part
but
of the story.
If you kind of had the instrument to make wormholes, then
no, it's not to make wormholes. It's to manipulate the wormholes that are already coming because of the convergence. So they're kind of just harnessing.
How do you test it? Anyway.
Well, on the job learning. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Thor's alright. He's got normal eyebrows, which I really appreciate. He's not like to look at. It's a very sad funeral scene with his mother.
Yeah, I
think
just
it's very powerful there.
Yeah, it's just some good music. I just love the film. I really do, and I feel like I should have more to say about it, considering how much I enjoy it. But it's just one of those ones I've always loved. I've always really enjoyed. Every time I watch it, it's just a fun time. An enjoyable film, and yeah, I don't know. I like all the little parts that go with it, like the scene when they're first learning about the little wormholes in that kind of abandoned estate in London. Even just like the scenes where it's not that big for the plot, I enjoy. You know, well, apart from the elves, where I'm just like, so I guess there's that, and that's kind of a negative. But for the most part, it's one of my favorites, I think, which is quite an unpopular opinion, but that's all right. One thing I did want to mention, which is not what I'm trying to remember, is at the beginning when Thor is kind of fighting these kind of this other civilization in another realm. There's this big rock monster. I was like, oh, it's Korg. You know, it looks like Korg, or at least a version of him, the same species from Thor Ragnarok. But yeah, no, I can't.
Okay.
No, I just feel that there's something, and it's probably going to hit me like in 2 hours or something. But you know, it is what it is. So, Thor: The Dark World. I enjoy it quite a bit. I'm glad you enjoyed it more than you did before. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
I guess they are forgettable because...
Just...